Good evening, everybody. How is everybody doing today? Happy Thursday. We are more than halfway done with July. Can you believe it? Oh my goodness. So I'm going to give you a few seconds to get on. I just like to vibe out to my fashion music. I am excited for what's about to take place tonight. Hope all is well. Hope your week was productive and everything was successful your week. Man, there's a lot of stuff going on. It's been doing a lot of raining in Florida, man. I'm talking about it don't rain so many different times. Almost every day it's been raining out here because it's been so hot. It's been raining 2 or 3 times a week and a day. And the heat has not been going away. Usually when the heat when the water comes, everything's supposed to cool down, but that has not been happening. It's been crazy. But I want to talk to you briefly about what's going on with RBC itself. There's been some amazing changes that's been going on behind the scenes. There's in the group I did post a tech pack of the college shirts. Okay, so the college shirts are possibly going to go on a pre-order in the next month or two. And there's a few other items that's going to also be in the pre-order stage as well. So you're going to be able to order some tank tops and this retro t-shirt called the Red Spanish, okay? This was the very first shirt that was made that was crowdfunded by people that believed in the vision when we first started the brand. Man, I'm excited about this shirt because everybody's been asking about this shirt again. So I'm going to do a retro of this shirt with the material the same. The difference is I'm going to do 2 different variants of it, meaning 3. So 2 different variants, meaning this is going to be one of the shirts to where it's going to have a faded feel. So it's going to be like an orange, darker red, green. And the other one is going to be like the more vibrant, like I've been posting on my social media, the differences between the pictures. Like when I had my other shirt and when everybody else, they had their shirts, the vibrancy and the shirts were different. And I don't know if anybody's been paying attention to that. But yeah, it's been a lot of different changes. So, of course, we officially trademarked from Shawnette Stokes. Also, new website. Website is www.rightbrandclothing.com. You still can use that that web domain. Also, the new website is www.royalblossomcommunity.co. Okay, so www.royalblossomcommunity.co. So that's the new URL. Either way, it'll take you to the same website. And that's it. What's been going on with the brand as far as that. And we got some events coming up. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to post some new stuff with the brand when it comes to the updates and news. I'm going to give you a calendar of events to where we're going to be out in different places in Florida, maybe across the country. So we're going to be doing a lot of different traveling and different events. So we got a lot of different things that's going to be taking place in Orlando, Florida. We just started tapping back into that market. And when we was at Fierce Entertainment 2 weeks ago, it was something special. I mean, the energy was high. People was vibe. People in Orlando looking for something different. They hungry. Okay, they are hungry. So without further ado, so I'm going to bring up this fabulous woman that I was able to pleasure of getting on this live. She's been doing some amazing things in Central Florida. She's a sister to me. She's an entrepreneur. God-fearing woman. She's done so many different things to help our community and the seniors, and she does so many different things. She's very passionate about what she do. So I definitely wanted to put her on my business series podcast, and I want everybody to know who she is. She does so many different aspects of business you wouldn't know, but you're gonna find out today. I'm going to introduce to my sis, Miss Mylika Cherise Morton. What's up, lady?
Hey there, how are you?
I am amazing. How about you? How's everything going?
Things are great. Just excited and honored that you would have me on tonight. Thank you so much. And yeah, just doing good. Just doing good, man. Like you said in your intro, time is moving fast. So just trying to keep up.
Man, time moving too fast, sis. It's almost like scary.
Uh, correct.
I'm scared.
Correct.
It moved too quick. We was just in January.
We were just in January. We just said Happy New Year, and we about to say it again.
I
We're gonna
say it
blink
again.
our eyes a couple of times, and we're gonna say it again.
Mm-mm. So yeah, so I want you to come on. I appreciate your time coming to talk to the panel, talk to the audience. And for the audience, don't know, my name is Terrence Ramsey. I'm the CIO of Royal Blossom Company, formerly known as Right Brand Clothing. And
Yes.
I'm actually one of my visions is to put people back in their God-given purpose and talents by connecting the dots. So
Mhm.
what I'm doing with this specific podcast is interviewing different key entrepreneurs in different parts of Florida, different states, worldwide, and you know, having them come on this podcast to talk about their different visions, their businesses, how long they've been doing it, the ins and outs, and I'm trying to connect some dots and get some people some business. So that's one of the main reasons why I want to bring people on here, and also to give you some educational background of what she does and how are we gonna have basically a good dialogue here. So this is gonna be a fun podcast. So I want you to introduce yourself and tell people who you are and how long you've been in your business.
Okay, so my name is Mylika. My legal name, my government name, is Mylika Morton. But I do my branding under Mylika Cherise. And so I am both a CPA as well as an attorney. And my businesses rather, my accounting firm is ASAP Tax and Accounting Services Inc. And then my law firm is ASAP Law PLLC. ASAP actually was founded in 2007. So it was initially, just a side hustle, just doing taxes during tax season with a dear girlfriend of mine. It was, her idea to want to do a tax practice, and we started working together. We started out as a partnership, and then her career took her in a different direction, and so I kept ASAP going, and then went full time with it in 2020. Actually while we were in the pandemic was obviously a rough time. It was a difficult time, but it birthed an opportunity for me to pursue the firm full time, and so we've just been growing and going ever since.
Okay. So give us a little bit of backstory of what made you get into accounting. And can you give us a little bit of history of accounting?
You know what? I'm not gonna lie. I cannot give you like a history of accounting. Like I'm not gonna sit here and try and tell you like the theory and when this person came up with this theory and that. I'm not gonna tell you that, but I'll be able to tell you about the practicalities of it. We're gonna keep it real simple, right? We're gonna make it simple and applicable. But I got into accounting. So interestingly, when I went to college, I was initially a pre-med major. And so when I went to college at the University of Florida, go Gators, they told all the pre med majors, they were like, listen, only one in three of you are going to really make it and go to med school. So you make sure that you have you a backup plan. Now, I have always just naturally been really good with numbers. I have naturally been that person that would end up being the treasurer, the treasurer of this organization and the treasurer of that club. So it was just something in me, even from like a young age. So when they said, hey, you better have a plan B, well, I knew my plan B was accounting. Fast forward a little bit, and sure enough, I'm in taking the pre med classes, and for the life of me, I could not pass physics. Couldn't pass it, and reached out to the dean of the college, and they reached out to my mom, and I was like, "Yeah, we need to shift. We gotta pivot." And I went into the accounting major, was accepted into their accounting program, and the rest is history.
Okay. Okay. So what makes you like numbers and filing tax returns?
I'm just a nerd, apparently. I am just a nerd to my core. I think that numbers, and I think, I know from talking to my clients, sometimes numbers just intimidate people. People are scared of numbers. They're intimidated by it. They're intimidated by the IRS. They're scared to get in tax trouble. And I get it, because we can read the headlines and we hear the horror stories, and so we know that things can go left when you're not in good standing with the IRS. But I honestly feel like it's a God-given gift, that I can feel just comfortable, just feel really comfortable, and actually enjoy digging in and really analyzing figures and analyzing numbers. And I enjoy the outcome. So, for that client that comes to me and says, "Hey, I'm trying to get my first house and I need my financials, I need my taxes done." It's the greatest joy in the world when they come back to me and they say, "Thank you, we just closed." I mean, that just feels amazing, to be able to help people fulfill their dreams and their desires by helping to do something that's more, in the background.
Hmm. That's that's. I want to tell my audience, when she says she a nerd, these are the people that you keep in your corner. These are the people that you keep close to you, and these are the people that you have long-term relationships with,
Mhm.
friendships or marriages. These are the type of people that you keep
Yes,
close to you. Okay, like
right,
seriously, these are the people that got your best interests at heart.
right,
And it's funny when you say that, when people, that's what makes you understand that you're truly in purpose, when people come back to you and show you the fruits of your labor.
right, right.
and
Mhm.
and it's funny because like it's that's such it brings you so much joy, and it also puts you in a position to where you just become even more passionate, to where you can't even sleep. I gotta change some more lives. So I'm
That's
glad
right.
that you're doing that. And it
That's
brings me to your my next question about, these that type of feeling testimony. So what gives you your why so you can get these type of testimonies?
Wow. My why, I took an interesting shift in my career. So always was just in accounting, and it was just like, okay, cool, I'm gonna go the corporate route. So I did, corporate America for a few years. And then I had an amazing opportunity to actually become, a position opened up to be a fiscal officer at the church that I was a member of. And I just was like, wow, that would be really, really nice. And that would be so cool to be able to use my skill set, but for a greater purpose. And at the time, the money wasn't great. The money was literally almost like half of my salary that I was making in corporate. And long story short, I ended up taking that leap of faith and took the position with the ministry. And that really changed my life. And I feel like being obedient to what Holy Spirit was prompting me to do in that season, it set me up. I feel like it set me up. I learned a lot, gained a lot of capacity during those years in the ministry, because the ministry then also had nonprofits, and I got to learn about real estate development, and just was exposed to a lot of skill sets that I would not normally be exposed to. But to stay on focus with the question of my why. My why is because I want God to be glorified. God has given me this skill set, this gift, talent, ability, but He gives it for a reason. And so I just want to be very intentional about, okay, God, you gave this to me. Let me share this gift. Let me share this ability to upbuild your kingdom and to impact lives, to impact individual lives, to impact business owners, to help give peace of mind, to help people achieve their goals, achieve their dreams through this gift of accounting and law. Because it truly is, yes, it's a business, but it's also a way to be of service to others.
Okay, that's a good why. So what areas in law do you practice? I know you said you were an attorney. What areas of law do you practice?
So my law practice is very it's very complementary to the accounting practice. So I help individuals with business structuring. So whether that's you're starting from scratch and you're wanting to establish your LLC, but I definitely here recently have been working with those individuals who may be more established in business, but they have more complex business structure. So we want to have a partnership, and hence we need a partnership agreement. Great. We can work with you, help you get that partnership agreement structured. I help people establish their 501(c)(3)s. So we help them get the entity established as well as get the 501(c)(3) designation from the IRS. And I also do a lot of contract drafting, contract review, and some estate planning work as well.
Yeah, but okay, contract drafting. Okay. Like you wear a lot of hats, sis.
I tried. The concept is really for business owners for me to be like a one-stop shop for business owners to help them with both their legal and their financial infrastructure. Because, like you said, this is your business series, and there are just so many things that business owners need in place so that they can, run and do what they need to do and actually handling the business of their business. But my firms are here to handle the behind the scenes things that need to take place as far as the finances as well as and the legal protections.
Okay, yeah. Denise said there's leaps of faith are necessary.
Absolutely.
Show skin said she. Wow, I didn't know that you do all of that.
Yes, 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 absolutely.
Okay, Concha, we need that.
Perfect.
Okay, see, like you got some people that look about to come contact you.
Listen, to God be the glory.
Look, this is the purpose of this live now. This is what you're
Right.
supposed to do. Comment, ask questions. This is gonna be she gonna be able to ask any of your questions in the chat. Please ask questions and we'll get to you soon as
Sure.
we can. So I wanted to ask you to the next question. So you helping businesses with contracts, and
Mhm.
you helping business with different aspects of their business. It brings me to my next point, which is how I love how this conversation is just lining up with these questions, and like
Right.
every live is just the way the conversation flows. You gotta just let God do what He do,
Let them do
but
what you do.
let Him do what He do. So, how important is for businesses to hire?
Mhm.
I'm gonna listen. I'm gonna put a lot of emphasis to hire
Right.
tax professionals for their taxes and their bank account management.
Wow, there are a number of reasons. Now, some business owners and a lot of business owners, when they're starting out, they may feel that they don't have the budget to hire professional services, so they may try to handle things internally, and nothing wrong with that. It can become problematic if things aren't structured the right way. And I see this a lot. You mentioned bank account management. So that bank account management, that bookkeeping piece, sometimes as a business owner, so I'll take your business, for example, you are in the fashion design business. So you understand, producing and making apparel. You may not necessarily understand the difference between how to properly categorize something as a liability versus it being an expense. You may not necessarily understand bonus depreciation and what's a loan versus a distribution. So having someone on your team that has that skill set can free up your time so that you can really focus on your business, right? You can focus on making apparel, going to events. You mentioned you were in Orlando here in my town a couple of weeks ago. You can focus on doing the things that you need to do to really grow your brand and grow your business, but you have that professional on your team that's good at what they're good at and can help you to keep things in order. Um, I literally was watching something on YouTube earlier today, and it's a story, and it's public information, so I'm not being shady by sharing it. So if you're familiar with Housewives of Atlanta, Peter, who used to be married to Cynthia Bailey, he is apparently in trouble with the IRS about not paying taxes. And I commented under the video because, listen, there is one thing to not file and pay your personal taxes. It's a whole different ballgame when you have employees under you and you don't pay your payroll taxes. Now you're talking about jail and prison time. Like that's a whole different ball of wax. And every time I hear these stories, I see these headlines, the first thing that comes to mind, getting back to your question, is who was on his team? Who in the world let him build up a $600,000 payroll tax debt? Like, how? How? And so, yeah, having professionals on your team will keep you out of jail, keep you out of trouble. Having who you need to have in place. So yes, it will be worth the investment to pay a professional to help you with those services. Absolutely.
So let me interject real quick, sis. So
Yes, absolutely.
I'm gonna get. So in our community, let's be honest. A lot in our community, we want to do everything ourselves. We don't want to outsource. I was just talking with Miss Dina Davis 2 weeks ago. We was just talking about The Second Chance by Robert Kiyosaki. He talking about generalists and specialists. Most entrepreneurs are generalists. You know, they know how to do everything. They know the ins and outs of their business, but they don't understand. In our community, they don't understand to hire the specialists, especially when you're bookkeeping and your taxes. I'm gonna give you an example. Big sis been filing my taxes for years. I'm talking about years. Business, personal, all that. She got me right. She on time. She know what she doing. Look, I'm gonna give you an example about that, the IRS thing. I asked sis, can she give me the PPP loan? Because I'm saying, how all these people getting 500, 200,000? I said, sis, can you get me? She's like, I'm gonna check for you. She went on computer. She said, I only can get $1,000. I ain't follow up. I was like, okay, I got the EIDL loan, which was good money, but I didn't get the PPP. I was like, wait a minute, somebody lying here. So a couple months later, they was out there picking people up because they was out here on these different averages. They just cooking up documents and doing things, lying about their business, and then the government came. Yes. Where's this building, your payroll, where's your employees? You see, they buying Hellcats, but they take them to jail. That's and it's crazy. What happens is when you do pay for these services, it also takes pressure off of you. It takes a lot of the personal responsibility off of you. And it's also good to hire people that specialize in these fields, because not only these people know what they're doing, they're going to give you an excellent quality service. And the most important thing is it's going to save you a lot of time and stress.
Yes.
And most people try to shortcut it, but when you're building a business from scratch, there's no shortcuts. You got to go through the processes. Everything is a learning curve. And it's going to cost you, okay? But it's the price. But which cost do you want to pay? Do you want to pay the cost of hiring a professional? Now, when you straight and ain't no problems, or hiring a professional to get you out of that situation that you created for yourself. Now, opposed to the couple $100 she charged you to file your taxes the right way, now it's going to cost you about $9,000-$10,000 for her to negotiate with the IRS to get you out of that situation. Now, all you had to do is do it right the first time.
That's right. That's right.
People don't want to do that.
And I thank you for that example, because honestly, I had forgot. You know what? So much has happened since 2020. I forgot about that era of PPP.
Look, I had called her and asked her. I said, sis, I need some more money. Yes, I said, bro, you only get $1,000 because your business is still new and stuff like that. I said, okay. I was mad. I was hot because I'm seeing these dudes out here getting all that money. I'm hot. I'm like, how they getting? They ain't got no business. I'm a legit business.
Right.
Registered. Can't get it.
Yeah. But and that's another key thing, and that's such a great point, because sometimes the professional that you hire, and I'm going to say this is a good benchmark, it's a good test of the professionals that's on your team. That professional at some point in time is probably going to tell you something you don't want to hear. Everything's not going to go your way, especially when we're talking about issues of securing loans, securing government funding, tax issues. It's not always going to be the answer that you want to hear, but I always do my absolute best to tell my clients the answer that is accurate, and once again, that's going to keep you out of jail. So that is always my goal.
Look, let me tell you something. A lot of people, they struggle with that word accountability.
Come on.
Discipline. We was just talking about that on Bible study last night about being accountable and discipline.
Yeah.
The funny thing is, I'll be scared for people not to tell me the truth and be honest with me, even if it hurt my feelings. Those are the people that care about you. You got people over here talking, I can get you some more money on your taxes. I can get you 10,000. I say, how?
It's not worth it.
You say, man, we can get you some more write-offs. How? If Mylika can't find it, what you doing? She can find every write-off.
Right.
They over here scamming. The government come back and see, we gonna have to audit you. Oh, no, you auditing me.
Mm-hmm. And I tell people all the time, because everybody's like, oh my God, audits, and I don't ever want to get audited. And I tell clients, audits are only scary if you haven't been honest. That's the only time an audit is scary. The reality is that an audit is just simply, you just got to produce documentation just to prove, okay, if you said that you spent $1,000 on marketing, let's show the $1,000 worth of receipts. Okay, well, if you got your documentation in place, or you've hired a good bookkeeper, right? You've engaged a bookkeeping service, and everything is, coded the way that it's supposed to be, it's no big deal. It's a non-issue. It's only when you have said something that is not the truth and you can't substantiate, that's when audits become scary.
You heard her. You heard her first. Look, I'm telling you, hiring professionals for every sector of your business is key, because you don't want all that pressure and responsibility, because you're gonna probably forget. Something probably might go wrong. It's not even about the money. It's about what's correct and doing it right the first time.
Doing it right the first time.
And it'll save you a lot of heartache and stress up front. And it's crazy. It's crazy when people think about it, especially the IRS. So it brings me back to my next question with you. So speaking of people doing wrong by the IRS, and IRSs be auditing people. Now, have you ever stopped clients from getting the IRS coming after them heavily? Have you ever been in one of those situations before?
Yeah, I mean, I've been in those situations a few times. Sometimes clients will, get in situations where they sometimes get into a big windfall of money, and they're making more money than they ever have before, but they didn't really plan for it the right way. So, okay, April 15th, now they have this huge tax bill and they don't quite know what to do. So there's definitely ways that we can work around it, ways that we can work around that issue by working with the IRS. I will say that the number one thing that people need to do if they find themselves in a situation with the IRS is do not ignore them. Because what happens a lot of times, by the time people come to me, they have ignored them, ignored them, ignored them, ignored them. Like, the IRS is going to send you letter after letter after letter after letter before they start taking more aggressive action. So, but we have been able to, maybe contact them and say, hey, can we put a pause on collections activity? So that's one way that we can kind of slow down that IRS progress of activity. We can set up installment arrangements. So you end up with a tax bill, you don't have the 5,000, 10,000, whatever the number may be. You can't just write a check for that amount. No problem. We set up an installment arrangement. And then there's something that's called an offer in compromise. So if your situation has changed, where back when you incurred this huge tax liability, maybe you've had an illness, a divorce, death in the family, anything that has changed the situation where you no longer have the finances to pay that debt, then you can do what's called an offer in compromise. So it's a lengthy application process, and basically it's a settlement. You're settling the debt. So maybe that $20,000 debt can become a $5,000 debt that you can pay over time. But there are definitely opportunities and options to work through any situation and scenario that you have with IRS. Is just so important that you don't let fear cause you to just ignore it. You see the letter and it's IRS and you just throw it over in the corner because you don't even want to deal with it. Don't do that. Please don't do that. Don't ignore them. Communicate or reach out to a professional to communicate on your behalf. And we can work through. And that's kind of my approach to my practice. I always say that basically everything is fixable. Okay. Everything's fixable. We definitely want to do things right the first time. That's the goal. But if for some reason that doesn't happen, we can certainly fix just about anything.
Let me ask you a follow-up question. Are you familiar with the cash flow quadrant?
I am familiar. It's been a minute since I have read. I think that comes from Rich Dad Poor Dad, if I remember correctly. It's been a minute since I've read it, but yes, I am familiar.
Okay, so the 4 quadrants is employed, self-employed, big B, big business, and investor. So, what would you say your client? What were most of your clients that did have your issue? Which quadrant would they be in?
Most clients that have the IRS issues. Oh, definitely. It's a lot of employees and self-employed.
Self-employed. Elaborate. I want you to see. I'm going somewhere with this. So, how would now if they on the left side of the quadrant, I can see why self-employed. I want you to elaborate on self-employed, but I want you really to. I'm putting a lot of emphasis on people who have 9 to 5s. Okay, so why would the IRS be after somebody that when they're taking the FICA, Medicaid, and Social Security already out their checks? How would they owe the IRS?
Yes.
From if they're getting their paycheck already taken out in taxes already, how would they? Can you explain that to the?
My goodness, yes. And that's a hot topic right there. So we're in an election cycle, and I think people need to understand that political ideologies can have impact on your day-to-day living. And this topic that you're on right now is a prime example. So back in 2018, there were some new tax laws enacted. And as a part of, that comprehensive tax law change, one of the changes that occurred was this ideology that, hey, we want employees and we want, American taxpayers to have more money in their pockets throughout the year versus having so much money withheld, and then you end up with a huge tax refund when you file your taxes. Okay, that's fair enough. And if anyone who has been in the workforce since prior to 2018, you'll remember that the Form W-4, so that form when you get a job and you have to fill it out, right, and give that to your HR or payroll department, that form changed. Remember, you used to say, "Oh, I'm married and 1 dependent. I'm single, but head of household, 3 dependents, and all that stuff." Because when you did all of that, it impacted how much federal withholding was withheld from your tax. The other 2 taxes you mentioned, Social Security tax, Medicare tax, those are fixed percentages. That's coming out of everybody's check based on the percentage. Social Security has a cap, like something like 148,000. After that stops. But basically, everybody's going to get that. That Social Security and that Medicare tax that comes out of your check, that does not impact your income tax return. There's a very small exception for very high salary individuals, but the general public, there's no impact. So that's just money that's just gone. You helping to pay for somebody's Social Security benefits. That's just money that's gone. But getting back to the federal withholding, so when that tax law went into effect, less money was being withheld from people's paychecks, and a lot of people did not realize it. And so then when they started filing their taxes in 2019 and in 2020, they're like, well, hey, I'm used to getting a larger refund, or I've never owed ever in my life. Why do I all of a sudden owe taxes? And it is because even though there is money being withheld, and even though you are an employee, you as the taxpayer are still 100% responsible for making sure that you're paying enough tax into the system based on your salary. I have clients who make multiple six figures. Recently had a client, he, making in the $200,000 range, and literally only had like about $1,000 of income tax withheld from his check for the whole entire year. It's just like, yeah, this is why we have this huge now 5-figure tax liability at year end, because you're not having enough tax withheld throughout the year. So, one of the things I tell some of my clients that do end up owing at tax time, I'm like, listen, and actually right now is the time, because we're in the middle of the year. Make an appointment with me, send over your year to date pay stub, and let's see if we need to make some adjustments. Let's see if you need to go back to your HR department, your payroll department, and say, look, there's not enough money being withheld from my check based on my salary level. Let's pull an extra 25, 50, 100, whatever the number needs to be from my check each pay period, so that I don't find myself with sticker shock when, you file your taxes next filing season. But it can happen. It absolutely can happen. And it is happening a lot.
Mm. Well, here it is, folks.
Yeah.
So just paying attention, just having enough self awareness about what's going on with business, understanding what's going on in politics in your local government, understanding just just financial education from a vast majority, because a lot of people don't understand what financial education is. What you could do is, subscribe to Wall Street Journal, Bloomberg,
Mhm.
different businesses like Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki. You actually can learn some stuff from Donald Trump too, even though the stuff he's been doing, but he still was always a great businessman throughout the years before all the stuff that happened with him in the presidential election and when he became president. You just understanding business and learning from entrepreneurs. And I will say, when you're transitioning to the right side of the quadrant, like the big business investor uh,
Mhm.
quadrant, see what most people in the middle class don't understand. They say, why don't the rich pay enough taxes? I'm
Hmm.
explain why. To piggyback off of what you said, I'm gonna explain why they don't pay a lot of taxes. The reason why they don't pay a lot of taxes, they pay very minimum or little taxes, is because they're providing a product or service that the government is unable to do. So they're able to write things off. So the tax laws are different on the big business and investor side opposed to the self-employed and employee side. They're
Right.
two different tax brackets, but also they're two different set of laws and rules. So it's about, when you get on this side, the rules are different. But when you're on this side, you're getting crushed from inflation and the
Right.
fiat currency. I was talking about this on a couple of lives ago about real estate with Bishop Maurice Franklin. We was talking about that, talk about the fiat currency in the real estate market, and why stuff was fluctuating with inflation, because inflation is basically when it's costing you more money to do the same things,
Right.
because what's happening is, back, like I said, back in 1971, Richard Nixon took the US dollar off the gold standard. So what happened is the government keeps printing money. So every time Joe Biden, your president, your Democratic president, every time he print money to Ukraine, that's affecting you. That's causing inflation too, and it's also causing inflation when the Federal Reserve prints more money. So what they're doing, they're printing money that don't exist. The money doesn't exist. It's not backed by gold, silver, platinum, diamonds, none of that. It's just not backed anything. It's just printing money. So what's happening is the value of your dollar is going down. It's costing you more money to do the stuff. The rent is increasing. The gas is increasing. Everything's just going up around you because you're on that left side of the quadrant. The people on the right side of the quadrant are just getting richer because of the laws and the way they're written. So once you start to understand the laws on the right side, you'll begin to see a different perspective. And it's kind of messed up that people are going through that, but it's a game that you got to play. It's the capitalist society that you are in. You just got to play to win, and you got to do what's best for your family. So there's nothing wrong with having a job and being self-employed, but you want to
Right.
make sure you want to start that transition to the other side so you'll have a better tax benefit. So that's good stuff, sis. That is real good stuff.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, make the transition for those who desire to make the transition, and plan and maximize for wherever it is that you are. So if you are on, like you said, that left side of the quadrant, now remember, I talk about getting over to the right side of the quadrant. The harsh reality is not everybody wants to have a big business. Not everybody is going to get to that investor level, but certainly for those, people who are employees and they are going to be, stable and, stable into retirement. And those individuals who are self-employed, like you said, have a good game plan, be educated, be informed, and simply maximize and do the absolute best that you can where you are so that you don't end up, in a messed up tax situation.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. Absolutely. There go Brett Johnson. That's my classmate back in Bethune Cookman. I think he was an accounting major. That man loved numbers too.
Awesome.
Absolutely. Yeah, he was doing some great things, man. I remember he was doing some great things in accounting. So yeah, yeah. So it's funny that when you said that, that is true. A lot of people don't have what it takes to get to that other side because it takes a lot of work. It's a
Yeah.
lot of
Nice.
late nights working
Yeah.
for yourself.
Right.
People think like, for example, I'm pretty sure people like, man, she be all over the place. She be moving around, man. She got mad money, but they don't see what you do behind the scenes.
Right. That's
You
right.
got out of tax returns. You getting people out of trouble from the IRS. You doing stuff with business law. You got a lot of stuff that you're doing. Of course, you got help around you, but see, they don't see the ins and outs of what you do and the stresses and the processes, the phone calls on the IRS, phone calls on the
Right.
emails. People like they think being on that side of the quadrant, the difference is you're a lot more busy. You have bigger responsibilities that come
Right.
with more problems, bigger problems. Yeah, more money, more problems, it's bigger issues, but those
Sure.
issues are better issues because what it's doing is it's creating a way for you to solve better problems. So that's why the government don't really tax you because you're solving problems for the government. See, you get paid for you entrepreneurs get paid for what they think, not because of the dollar that they want to make. So that's the difference between somebody who works physical labor
Right.
and just thinks. So a person who creates ideas and put them in fruition, invest, invest, invest. See, that's the thing. Not everybody is gonna, want to own their own business, but it's
Right.
also wise to invest because the
Sure.
economy is living
Sure.
in. Because we
Too.
can't live where these houses $400,000 and they done lost their mind. Let's keep them. They
Listen,
lost.
I'm so grateful. I have had my house and I've had it for a minute because my goodness, housing prices, whether you trying to buy or even if you're renting, woo, yeah,
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 that whole boy. They make you don't even man look. That ain't gonna work. That
right.
is not gonna work. My question to you, like being though that you have all these unique different situations and you have clients with different needs and they have different, you know, what can we say? They have different niches in whatever they're doing.
Mhm.
How do you come up with a pricing structure for each client?
You know what? So what I try to do is I will look at what my pricing needs to be, especially I'm going to keep it to taxes for right now. And I will pay attention to what's happening in the market, and also pay attention to how much time do I really need to invest for each different type of return. So obviously, that business client that has, let's say $2 million of revenue, well, their price point is not necessarily going to be the exact same as the client that has $100,000 of revenue, because it's a different level of analysis that's required, it's a different level of preparation and time that goes into that return. So, the level of revenue growth of that client, how that client is structured. So we have some people who are, you may be an LLC, but you're a single member LLC, and your business return or your business taxes is all encompassed in your personal return. Well, that's going to be one price point. That's going to be something completely different from that single member LLC who has elected to be taxed as an S corporation, because now we're filing a completely separate S corporation return. So it's a lot of variables and factors that go into the pricing model. And then I have my clients, my retainer clients that I work with year round. Again, completely depends on what level of support they are looking for. Are they just looking for bookkeeping support, or are they looking for contract CFO support? So, very, very broad range of support opportunities, and it's all priced accordingly.
Mm. So yeah, so that makes sense because I know a lot of podcasts because I graduated business degree, so I general business administration. So my concentration area was more so marketing and promotion, and I had a little bit of finance too. But
Right.
the crazy thing about it is, them tax returns, when we start talking about them write offs, just a lot them people coming up in there with them write offs. So that makes sense because you got to research the tax laws at that time, because they
That's right.
change from different presidencies. They change.
Yes.
And you got how long it's going to take you to do the write-offs, calculate the return, double check it. It's a lot of stuff that goes behind accounting, because I've done so. I had a couple of accounting classes. It take you a long time just off of 1040 EG. It took us some time. 2 pages. It took us some
1040
time,
EZ.
boy.
Oh, that's a throwback. Oh
That's a
my goodness.
throwback. You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. Hey,
I
I'm
remember
about
the
to
EZ.
years ago.
Yeah.
So it took when we was in class. It took us a while. Like some of us that wasn't that good at accounting, it was
Right.
taking us a while. It was like 2 pages. I'm like, how they coming up with these different answers? So you want to make sure it's accurate and it's
Yes.
presentable to the IRS too. So you're getting what you pay for. Okay, so no matter how
Yes.
much the cost is, you just want to make sure you prepare your professionals
Right.
what they work, because they working for you so you don't get in trouble. You understand? Like
Yes.
that makes perfect sense. So I want to bring it to my last question. This is about to be.
Mhm.
I'm about to change the game tonight. Hold on
Oh,
one second. I'm about to pull it up. I'm about to change the game.
oh my goodness.
They not ready for this question. Okay,
Am I ready for the question?
they not ready for this question yet. Look, they not ready. They look. This is a good question. Now,
Okay. All right, let's do
what
it.
So explain the difference between when you filing taxes for a nonprofit
Mhm.
opposed to a for-profit business.
Okay. No, that's an excellent question. So I'm going to start with the nonprofits. Nonprofits, by design, if you have that 501c3 status, nonprofits do not pay income taxes. So the only tax that they should be paying is if they happen to have employees. Obviously, they still got to pay payroll taxes. Nobody gets around paying payroll taxes, okay? But nonprofits still have to file what's called an information return. And so that information return is that 990 series. And the type of 990 is going to depend on how much money they've taken in. So the smaller nonprofits, they've taken in less than $50,000. They file a 990 in. It's a postcard, very straightforward. And they literally check a box just to attest to the fact, hey, we took in less than $50,000. And they make sure they do that every year. Side note, for my people who manage and have nonprofits, make sure that you actually submit that 990 in. A number of nonprofits lose their nonprofit status if you miss filing that 3 years in a row. And so then, alluding to earlier in the conversation where we talked about doing things right the first time, paying a small amount versus having to pay a larger amount because now we have to fix an issue. So that's happened where I've had to then say, oh, okay, you missed filing your 990 these 3 years. Now we have to reapply to reestablish your 501c3 status. So very important to keep up with that compliance. And then those nonprofits who make over 50,000, receive over 50,000, less than 200,000, they file a 990 EZ. And then once you're over that 250,000, you're filing a full-fledged 990. And the IRS and the government want to hold those nonprofits accountable because you don't have to pay an income tax. You are supposed to be performing some type of charitable purpose, some type of exempt purpose. And so that 990 is outlining, okay, how much money came in and what did you do with the money? And how does what you did with the money tie into the exempt purpose that you said you were going to be, that you were going to operate for. So that's very high level nonprofit filing. And I have a heart for nonprofits. As I mentioned earlier, I was working for ministry and for affiliated nonprofits for a number of years. So love working with nonprofits. Actually, I'm one of probably few CPAs I actually enjoy doing 990s. A lot of CPAs don't like to do them. And then, of course, when you're doing the for-profit taxes, depending on how that business is structured, that business in and of itself may or may not pay taxes. So what I will do with my for-profit business owners is we do some modeling. We figure out, does it make sense for you to be S Corp? Does it make sense for you to be C Corp? Does it make sense for us to file you as a partnership? It just depends on what their situation is. And we go through and we do modeling. And of course, you talked about pricing, all of that gets factored into, the modeling and planning and strategy, having the right strategy in place. So, but that's the huge difference. Nonprofits are really just giving information. They're not paying taxes. And of course, the for-profit businesses, we're trying to figure out, what is that taxable number that taxes are going to have to be paid on.
I'm digesting the information. That's deep. Wow. Yeah. That's a lot of different forms. So they just got to submit on a piece of notebook paper what they've been doing with the money.
I would pray that you're not submitting it on notebook paper. I pray that you have some type of a record keeping system in place. That you invest in QuickBooks, you invest in Wave. It's so many different accounting software on the market today. Back in the day, it was nothing but QuickBooks. Now there's a lot of different options. Xero, figure out what works for you and what what you have an appetite for. But yeah, tracking how the money comes in and how the money comes out, whether you're nonprofit or for-profit, is critical. It's critical for you as a manager, as a business owner, because you simply need to know, what is your business doing? You just need to know for yourself, what your business is doing. And then, of course, you want to have that information available for taxes. You want to have that information available for when you're trying to get access to capital, you're trying to get a loan. We can very easily turn around financial statements versus it being a stressful situation because you need information that you don't have ready. So as they say, if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. There it is. I got another follow-up question.
Uh-oh. Now, see, you said that was the last question, but
I know. I had to give you, it wasn't the last question, but I got to give you a follow-up while, talking about, the different taxes and the differences between. So it brought me to, as you was talking and explaining the different forms and
right.
the differences, brought me to this question. Then this is another home run question. Who gets audited more? The nonprofit or the for-profit?
Oh, I would definitely say it's the for-profits that get audited more. Honestly, I think nonprofits that find themselves in trouble, and that's probably not the right way to say it because it's typically the the manager, the director of the nonprofit who's in trouble versus the nonprofit in and of itself. But a lot of times that's when it's some type of a whistleblower situation where someone has complained, someone has said something, and then they say, "Hey, well, let's take a look at, this foundation or this not for profit." So yeah, I don't hear about random nonprofits just randomly getting audited. That definitely would happen more so on the for profit side.
Mm, okay, that is interesting. Wow, I'm just digesting that info. I didn't even know all that. I'm getting educated myself.
Well, good, good. I love a teachable moment, so that's awesome.
Look,
That's
that's what we do.
awesome.
That is what we do. So tell the people how they can find you. Tell your social medias,
Yes,
business,
for
your
sure.
Instagram, your
Yes.
TikTok.
So you can find me on Facebook under My Morton, also under ASAP Tax and Accounting. But the best way to reach me is actually via my website, which is mylikasharise.com. So you see my logo here, there it is. And so if you just type that all together, mylikacharise.com, and that is the absolute best way to learn more about me, learn more about my firm, and you can schedule a consultation from right there on the website.
There it is. There you go. There she is. And you need to go ahead and reach out. Can't say I didn't tell you about it. She she's there. She could answer your questions. I see people been commenting. There's been some great. I think some of the people from both our platforms been commenting. Do
Wonderful.
anybody have any questions before we end
Mhm.
the live? Does anybody have any questions? Let me see if anybody got any questions. That is good stuff.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having these Thursday night lives,
Oh,
to inform the people. It's great.
yeah, that's what I do. This is we just operating out of purpose, and like I said, this is just another layer of the vision of the brand, because the Commonwealth is putting people back into purpose and making people bringing all their resources together. No matter what's going on with the economy, we still going to thrive no matter what. You know,
Absolutely.
this is what we gonna do here. You specialize in accounting, I specialize in clothes, somebody specializes in therapy, somebody specializes in food. We all good.
That's
We don't
right. That's
need
exactly
nothing else outside of it. Everybody bring their gifts and talents to the table, and we support each other, and we love on each other. We just there to build each other businesses, and we support each other economically. We
right.
good. We ain't got nothing to really worry about.
That's right. And by the way, and as you see, I'm rocking my Royal Blossom shirt.
Yeah, she got
Represent.
yeah, she's proud of me.
Listen, I
Look,
think I'm a t-shirt connoisseur. So yeah, these are some of my absolute favorite shirts.
look, let me tell you something. She bust when I got her on live, she done bust out the shirt. I was excited. I wasn't expecting that. I thought she was gonna wear a suit. But she said, nah, I'm coming with my RBC on. This is what we're
Represent.
doing. That's what I'm talking about. She said
Awesome.
this
Choo. Thank
Joanne said
you.
this was a great concert, learns a lot. So thank you both. Oh yeah, she definitely is the GOAT in Orlando.
Oh, thank
Yeah,
you.
like if you ain't hired her and you still do your taxes behind yourself, I'm gonna come on your door, step, and we're gonna have a personal conversation, because that's crazy. We done gave the information, you still
Yeah,
wanted to do it your way. You still wanted it because black folks always say they didn't know. You knew. We went Facebook Live on these dates. We got the information. We say thank you, Mylika and Pineapple. I learned a lot. Oh, look here, we got you.
thank
We gonna got you. We
you.
don't know who you is, but we got you.
No, she has an amazing skincare line. Show some skincare. You guys go follow her on Facebook, order her products. I have started utilizing her products, and they are fabulous, very high quality, very effective. So yeah,
Okay.
show some support for show some skincare. Please
We
do.
gotta go follow her. Okay, so she got male products. She got something for the men, because the women, when they make they shea butters, they only make it for the women. You think we don't like our skin feel soft? They forget about us. We
I'm
don't want.
sure the product is for everybody. I'm
Okay,
sure
I'm
I
just
think
making
it's unisex. I
sure.
think everybody can use it.
Just making sure because they just do that. They're like, man, we all off just for the women. You know, y'all ain't got no men fragrance. You think we don't want to smell good, our skin ashy and stuff. You know, yeah, you forget about us. We be ashy when we get out of shower too.
Yeah, no, I think she'll get you right. She'll get you right.
Okay, got you.
Oh, that's a
Uh,
great question. She
Denise
actually
asked, "Are you mobile?"
So I am virtual. Believe it or not, I probably do 90 to 95% of the business that I conduct is virtual. And I literally have clients throughout the state and even out of state. So I have a national client base. So yes, I can work with you no matter where you are located.
Oh, she said she national. She said she national. People, she's a
National. One day I'm gonna say I'm worldwide. It's coming. It's
oh,
coming.
hold on. She
I'm
don't
gonna
went and
speak it.
said she
We're gonna
national.
be
So
worldwide in a minute.
she work on a worldwide platform. She about to be filing taxes in Scotland. I
Listen,
don't know what in
speak
the world.
it. But thank you for that question. That's a great question.
That's a great question. She said men and women. All right. I just
There
want
we
to
go.
make sure.
Yes,
Okay, just want to make sure. So I go to your website. And okay. Okay.
yes, yes.
Okay, so make
Very
sure we
high
get
quality.
okay. I'm gonna order something. You know, I'm big on supporting people
Oh yeah.
businesses. So I'm definitely gonna go to her. Okay, let's do that now. Let me put it in the chat
Yes.
because okay. Show some
Some skin.
love. Okay, I'm about to say show
Show
some
some
love.
skin. Yeah. Show some
Skin,
skin skincare.
skin care. All right. I got it pulled up. All right,
Perfect. Perfect.
that
Perfect.
that is cool. So we're gonna conclude. If there's no more questions, we are gonna conclude this live. It's been a pleasure you having on you, sis. You looking good with that glowing gray. And
Oh
the red Spanish is here. We are good to go. I am excited. Thank you
yeah.
for coming live. And thank you for taking your
Absolutely.
time out to inform the community of your services and what you're doing in your purpose.
My pleasure, and thank you again. Thank you for your support. I definitely believe that we reap what we sow, so it's always great to show some love and show support for fellow business owners and fellow entrepreneurs. So thank you again. It's been a pleasure, and thank you to everybody that tuned in.
All right. I'll see you later. You better hire her. And I'm going to know. Don't be come in her inbox talking about asking all these questions. Just hire her, please. I'm serious, but I'll see y'all later. Over and out. Next Thursday, we're gonna have another guest. We're gonna have an amazing time as always. It's gonna be a great fellowship, and we'll see you soon. 7:30. YouTube, subscribe, like to Royal Blossom 2018. We got some more clothing content on there, and we also all our Facebook lives is gonna be on there. Over and out. Take care of everybody.